time for Dr. Eli live. He's here with his cape and his magic wand, and he's going to solve your relationship problems. Your magic phone is right with all the apps.
We're taking phone calls right now, 276-2118. If you have a question for Dr. Eli, welcome. And you have a special device for you today.
I got my iPhone. You know, we can't live without that, but we're going to talk about texting today, do's and don'ts, because you know it's been in the news a lot lately with our congressman.
Yes, it has, and you know we can get into
what are you talking about?
We can get into more trouble with these things, and I would personally like to start with the don'ts of texting, especially in a relationship.
You know, we have face-to-face communication is very important. So when you're thinking about texting, if it should be a face-to-face communication, guys, make it that way. Don't have a conversation via texting if it should be a face-to-face conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you know, so much is lost. 80% of all communication is nonverbal, meaning that body language is so important. We cannot judge tone in a text. We cannot see what the intent that person had.
Right.
So, you know, if it's...
And punctuation can be brutal.
Oh, yeah. Right. So the other thing is, too, do not text someone when you are overly emotional. Could be very sad, sleep deprived, certainly drunk.
No knee-jerk reactions.
I don't know if you all have done this, but the drunk text is akin to the drunk dial. You shouldn't be doing it.
No.
Right. And when there is bad news to break, so let's say you're going to end your relationship, don't do it via text.
Please.
You know, your dog died or something horrible happened. Don't share it with somebody else via text. Call them up. Better yet, do it face-to-face.
All right. What would you say if a guy was like, I don't like the whole phone thing at all. I don't like talking on the phone, so they revert to texting. But then, like you're saying, you know, these don'ts of texting, and so what would you say to that?
Well, I would say, you know,
grow up.
Grow up. It is a different, but I'm several generations removed. I can't remember. A lot of young people I work with, they would rather go back and forth and text multiple people. And they say it's because, well, you can talk to a lot of people at the same time. I'm saying, you know, real relationships, there's nothing wrong with sending a text. We'll talk about how it works in a second. But you know, if it should be a conversation, pick up the phone. Better yet, do it face-to-face.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, here are a couple of do's when it comes to texting.
Do's. When you have brief logistical information to share, let me give you an example. You know, your partner, your significant other tells you to pick something up on the way home. It's great. So pick up this and this at the store. You have an appointment scheduled, or you need a phone number, a reminder. Text works great in that way. When you want to offer a statement of brief support or encouragement, hey, my wife sent me, good luck on the show today. It's nice, makes us feel good. And also, when we want to set the stage for something later in the day, Tara and Becca, meaning I can't wait to see you tonight, or we're going to have fun tonight, a text kind of priming the pump for this connection, this intimacy later on in the day.
Probably not a good idea to send a message that says, we need to talk.
No.
Like if Becca and I get messages right before we go on the air from somebody collecting a bill, or I mean, I'm just thinking of anything that could be bad. You know, you got food poisoned last night at my restaurant. I'm so sorry to tell you this. That's not really good.
No, and here's the other thing people do. Much like you keep calling someone and you don't get a response, so you keep calling and calling, you leave a bunch of messages. Don't you hate when somebody has texted you like 10, 15 times without a response? If someone is not responding to your text, ladies and gentlemen, it's probably because they don't want to. So nothing makes nothing makes you more needy or desperate than keep hitting that send button. So please know when to stop that. Also, when you're, I notice we all send texts on breaks on the show here. And everybody's been in a meeting, or you've been at work and you've sent a text. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but boy, if you're in an important meeting, or if you're on a date with someone else, do not pick this up.
No, nothing more disrespectful.
Don't do it. But
I think overall, in general, if you're out to lunch or dinner with someone, and you know, just leave the phone. You know, what's an hour?
That's right.
I just took a picture of the two of you, and I put it on Facebook, and then people see you and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to turn on WBKI and watch."
Right, and that would be a good thing. But you know, with this Representative Weiner controversy that's come up, it shows you the immediacy of types of communication like this. Whether you're tweeting, you're sexting, you're doing whatever, it's literally instant. And because of this, inhibitions are lowered. You're kind of caught in the moment, and for a lot of men and women too, arousal kind of leads to lowering the inhibitions. So you want this immediate stroke, this immediate validation that this sexting or tweeting can provide. So you send something without really thinking of the ramifications, and he's paying for it dearly this week.
Would you describe him as the ultimate in narcissism?
Right.
Constant pictures of himself in the White House gym.
Right.
you know, everywhere, taking pictures of himself.
Right, and that term narcissism, for a lot of people that don't know, it's not because they want something from somebody else. It's the inner validation they want. Again, the immediate stroke, ego boost, saying I'm powerful, I'm successful, and it's really about himself more than it is these other women. But the fact that he would do it and be so cavalier about it, and then deny it at first.
Somebody wrote you an email that said, this Anthony Weiner controversy has sparked discussion with my girlfriends and me. Why do men engage in sexting,
and what
Dr.
would you
Eli?
say about sexting? Don't do it.
That's a good question. People say, well, can't it work? And I guess in the confines of a committed relationship with you and your partner, I guess sexting, again, could prime the pump for intimacy, physical intimacy, looking forward to seeing that person, as we were saying. But in general, if our golden rule that we've been talking about, if you don't want, you should be comfortable with your partner seeing that if you're texting somebody else. So obviously it's another way to get this immediate fix, but it's probably not good if you're sending it to other people. Almost definitely not in the context of a committed relationship.
And don't post it on Facebook.
Yeah, why would you put anything online? The internet is not secure. Why would you store anything on a web-based kind of server or browser? If you are going to have sensitive pictures like that, put it on some type of encrypted hard drive, and, you know, when in doubt, delete, delete, delete.
Yeah,
good point.
Next time you come, there's another email that we don't have time to get to today, but it's about anxiety, jobs, the price of gas, the way we're living these days. I'd love to talk about that, because everyone I run into who seems a bit disgruntled has anxiety, and it's hard to live with.
Next Monday.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Eli. He's with the Kent School of Social Work. He actually trains all the young men and women who are going to become marriage and family therapists, and you can be a part of his success. There's the telephone number. Check EliKiram.com on the web for relationship advice from Dr. Eli.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.